Hello, gentle folks. Thank you once again for joining me for another video for your English Premier League betting tips and predictions for this year upcoming game week. And this game week here, we're going to start off on the 13th. On the 13th. Well, not the 13th, the 12th. And so we're just going to jump straight into it. And this game week here begins with this game here on Friday. Actually, this game on Thursday is actually a game that was not played during an early game week in the Premiership, and I would have gone over the prediction for this game already. But if you don't want another refresher, I think this game is going to end in a draw between Chelsea and Fulham, to be honest with you. Just off the top of my head, I'm just giving you a prediction for this one. I think it should end in a draw. Chelsea, if they can manage the, well, if they don't have any more injuries for starters, well, they could come away with a victory here, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one ends in a draw. So I'll say this one is a draw, Chelsea and Fulham. For me, anytime goal scorers, the usual suspects. Kai Havertz for Chelsea, Sterling, I think Sterling had a slide niggle. Also, you would have thing there, for Fulham you have Mitrovic, and you have William, and you have Pereira as well. Those guys, you have Paulino as well. And Aubameyang, depends on the amount of time he gets, and if they play him in the game, and if they play the game around him, then maybe he could score. But at the present moment, Aubameyang scoring looks like a far-fetched idea right now. But anyways, let's jump into the current game week, and we're going to start with this game week here, and it's going to start with as I say, this one I went through this already. So you want me to just do a quick pull up here and show you what I meant? As I said, this one should end in a draw in my opinion. That's it. This one ends in a draw, and I believe that both teams will score. It's a scoring draw, and 1-1 I do believe. And in terms of anytime goal scorers, I'm going to take my anytime goal scorer for this game. As you see, we have Bobby Reed here as well, all of those guys. So I could give you a quick run through, but for me, I'm going to take my anytime goal scorer from Chelsea, and I'm going to take Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz to be my anytime goal scorer. So yes, running down the recap again for this one, I'm saying Chelsea versus Fulham. I'm expecting this one to end in the draw, expecting both teams to score as well. 1-1 draw that is, and I'm anytime goal scorer to be Kai Havertz. So on to the next game, and the next game will be here on Friday, Aston Villa versus Leeds. And for this game now, Aston Villa versus Leeds, I'm expecting here Aston Villa versus Leeds, I'm expecting this one to be a close one as well. And I think this one is anyone's game, to be honest with you. Leeds are more in need of it than Aston Villa, I would believe, but it's anyone's game. They're not going to give it up, and it's going to be very, very interesting. As you can see here, we have some Betway boosters. These are really lovely. You can take them if you want. Correct score, Leeds United to win 2-1. Leeds correct score, some boosters there. But anyways, guys, into the predictions for this game, I'm going to say here Aston Villa wins this one. For me, I'm expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of a double chance, I would say both teams to score and either win. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm saying here Aston Villa wins this one 3-1. And in terms of anytime goal scorer for me in this game, I'm going to go with the run through the suspects here. Danny Ings, depending on the amount of time he gets. Ollie Watkins, Leon Bailey. Yes, Coutinho is not going to get much time, I believe. Buendia could score as well. Douglas Luiz. And on the Leeds United side of the football, you have Rodrigo, and you have Somerville. He pops up from time to time, and you have Joe El Had, and you have also this guy here, Wilfried Gonato. He could pop up and score for his score in the last game, if memory serves correctly. But for me, I'm going to take Rodrigo to be my anytime goal scorer for this game. And so recapping predictions for Aston Villa versus Leeds United, I'm saying Aston Villa to win this one, and I'm expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either team to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me 3-1 in favor of Aston Villa, and my anytime goal scorer is going to be Rodrigo Moreno from Leeds for this game. And now we're going to skedaddle on over to our next game, and we're into Saturday, Manchester Derby, Manchester United versus Manchester City. And now this here game, I'm expecting it to be a very interesting one. I'm expecting it to be close. I think we might have about 3 goals, to be honest with you. Who will win with the odd goal? I'm not certain yet. Well, I reveal that. Yeah, but it's going to be close. And for me, I'm saying here, Manchester City to win this one. Expecting both teams to score. And I'm saying here, in terms of a double chance, either to win, both to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm saying 2-1 here in favor of Manchester City. My anytime goal scorer to be, let's say, we have Martial here, we have Rashford, we have Anthony, we have Fernandez, and we have Ericsson. Casemiro also could pop up and give you something. In terms of City, you have Haaland, you have Alvarez, you have Mahrez, and you have De Bruyne, you have Gundogan and Bernardo Silva, as well as Mahrez. Foden, depends on the amount of time he gets, he can score for you as well. But my anytime goal scorer for this game, I'm going to take Marcus Rashford. Outside of that, I would take Anthony Martial. Alright, Haaland is almost expected to score in every game, so there isn't much on him to score at any point in the game, yeah, but I'm looking for the good ones, yeah. So recapping predictions for Manchester United versus Manchester City, I'm expecting Manchester City to win here, and I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of double chance, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-1 in favor of Manchester City, I say, otherwise it might be 3-1. In terms of anytime goal score, I'm going to take Marcus Rashford here, be my anytime goal scorer, yeah, at $3.10, so that's really lovely odds, yeah. So we're going to move right along into our next game, and our next game will be Brighton United versus Liverpool United, and for this one now, I'm expecting this one to be a battle to the end, and Liverpool will have to be careful because Brighton could snatch them here. Brighton could snatch the win, and I'm giving Brighton the win here, yeah, Brighton to win, and I'm saying both to score, yeah. I think we're gonna have a good high scoring game here. Double chance either to win and both to score, yes. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying here, Brighton to win this one, 3-2, yeah. I'm getting $21 for that. Look at that, that's really lovely, yeah. Alright then, so anytime goal scores for me, I'm looking here, Ferguson, he is popped up on the scene, he's scoring and he's threatening, yeah. So he's someone that you'd have to watch out for, Ferguson. Trossard is on the injury list, not sure if he'll play on Saturday. And also you have McAllister, he's back and he's on cloud 9, so he will threaten. And Pascal Gross as well, Mitomo, a very good ball carrier. He's turning out to be a very troublesome player, yeah. And for Liverpool, you have Nunes, you have Salah, you have Gakpo. Gakpo didn't look really well in the game. I don't think they provide him with enough opportunities, but he knows where the goal is, and so therefore you have to watch out for him, as well as Harvey Elliott. But for me, my anytime goal scorer in this game, I'm going to take my anytime goal scorer in this game to come from Brighton, and I'm expecting my anytime goal scorer to be here. I'm going to take Mitomo to be my anytime goal scorer. Outside of that, I would have gone with Mohamed Salah. So for me, let's do a quick recap here of the predictions for Brighton versus Liverpool. I'm expecting Brighton to win this one. Yes, people, I'm expecting Brighton to win, and I'm expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 3-2 in favor of Brighton, I believe. And in terms of my anytime goal scorer, I'm going to take Mitomo. Outside of Mitomo, you could go with Mohamed Salah because it's $2 and something. For Mohamed Salah, as I say, anything over $2.70 or more is usually good odds, yeah. And so therefore, that's it for the Brighton versus Liverpool game. And now we're going to move on to the Everton versus Southampton game. And for this game now here, both teams in need of a victory, more so Southampton, and it's going to be an interesting one. Everton before the World Cup, they had a really good defensive record, but after the World Cup, since the return, they have been sluggish. They have been unlike themselves in a sense, yeah. And so therefore, I'm expecting them to pick themselves up at some point. Otherwise, the Frank Lampard is going to be out of a job, and it's going to be very sad, yeah, for him, that is, yeah. But Everton versus Southampton, for this one, I'm saying here Everton to win and both teams not to score. And in terms of double chance, I'll go with either to win and both not to score. For me, Everton should win this one 2-0. Otherwise, it's going to be Southampton who wins. But if Southampton wins, both teams would score, yeah. Anytime goal scorers, we're looking at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, yes, and you have Also, Demari Gray, Dwight McNeil, depends on the amount of time he gets, he can score for you as well. Yeah. In terms of Southampton, you have Shea Adams, you have Marla, and you have Orisic. Orisic, surprisingly, who moved from a Champions League club to join Southampton. Very, very interesting. I don't know. He must have friends in high places there that who preceded him to come to Southampton at this point. Yeah, Southampton will never reach in the Champions League nor play European football anytime soon. Yeah. They are usually a good producer of talents though, but they're really struggling this year and they really need to get themselves together so that they can be in the Premiership next season. Yeah, James Ward-Prowse is also one to consider, and so therefore let me just give you my anytime goal score here. And my anytime goal score for this game, I'm going to go with Calvert-Lewin. Not sure how much time he's going to get now, but outside of Calvert-Lewin, you'd have to go with Shea Adams or Orisic from Southampton, even though I'm having Everton here winning by 2-0. Yeah. Recapping predictions here for Everton versus Southampton. I'm expecting Everton to win at $2.15. I'm expecting both teams not to score. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either to win and both to score. Both not to score, that is, sorry. And predicted scoreline 2-0 in favor of Everton, I believe. And in terms of the anytime goal score, I'm going to go with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Yeah. Also, on the handicap system, if you wanted to take a bet on the handicap system, let me just scroll down and show you what you do. Yes, you already know. If you've been watching my videos from the start of the season, you'd have known what to do in terms of handicap. But you just scroll right down to the handicap, and then you take here Everton to win by a goal. If you wanted to place a bet on the handicap system, that is, yeah. Alright, so those are my predictions for Everton versus Southampton. And now we're going to move on over to our next game, and our next game will be Nottingham Forest versus Leicester City. And for this game now, Nottingham Forest versus Leicester City here, I'm expecting Nottingham to put up a fight. And so therefore, I'm expecting them not to let Leicester City run past them here. So I'm going to take this one as a draw. Unless that they're going to have to be very careful because Nottingham Forest could come out and surprise them. Yeah. And so this one should end a draw for me, and I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of scoreline, I'm saying here we should have a 2-2 draw. And in terms of my anytime goal scorers for this game, you can have the usual suspects. You have it depends on how much time Emmanuel Dennis gets. He could score as well. Gibbs White, he could score as well, depends on the amount of time he gets in the field, but he's usually a provider. Finds himself in good positions all the time too. Brennan Johnson, also a very good player as well. You have to look out for him. He could score for Nottingham Forest as well. And in terms of Leicester City, you have the usual suspects. So Jamie Vardy, depending on the amount of time he gets, he could score as well. Harvey Barnes, Patson Daka, Inacho, Yuri Tillemans, and also you have Kieran Dewsbury Hall. He could score as well. Yeah, but for me, my anytime goal scorer in this game, I'm going to go with young Brennan Johnson to be my scorer here at any point in this game, and that's $3.80. So those are really lovely odds. Yeah. So recapping predictions for Nottingham Forest versus Leicester City United, I'm expecting this one to end in a draw. I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of scoreline, I'm saying 2-2 draw here. In terms of my anytime goal score, I'm going to go with Brennan Johnson for my anytime goal score as well. And so those are my predictions for Nottingham Forest versus Leicester City United. And now we're going to move on to Wolverhampton Wanderers versus West Ham United. Right, and so for this game now, I'm expecting here David Moyes is badly in need of victories because his team is getting closer and closer to the relegation zone, and he might lose his job as well. So he is usually a tough coach. He usually digs in and gets the result, but let's see what happens here on Saturday. Wolverhampton versus West Ham, and my predictions are this game will end in a draw, and I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of scoreline, I'm saying we should have a 1-1 draw here. Otherwise, it might be a 2-1 draw, but I'm seeing a 1-1 draw at the moment. Predicted scoreline for me, no, not anytime goal score, that is. You have Diego Costa, depending on the amount of time given, he stays disciplined, that is. Daniel Podence as well is someone that you have to look for. Hee Chan Hoon, he could come in and score for you as well. Mateus Cunha haven't been getting much game. Raúl Jimenez, a guy I want to see getting more games. I think he's due to score goals now, and I think he might be finding back that little bit of form and that hunger, yeah. And also Ruben Neves, you have to look out for him. And Gears, depending on the time he gets, he can score for you as well. Adama Traore, usually a provider, doesn't score much, but you can't count him out, yeah. In terms of West Ham, Stamaka is injured out. Not sure if he'll play, but if he plays, he's one that you have to look out for. Gianni Lucas Stamaka, also Mikel Antonio, and also Said Benrahma, Gerard Bowen, overdue goals as well. Paqueta finds himself in positions every now and again, could score for you as well as Lanzini Souček, the man who always has a goal in him. You have to watch out for that guy as well, yeah. And also Declan Rice, haven't scored in ages, but you never know in times like these when a team needs to perform and everybody needs to come in. They might be surprised. He might come up with a goal for you, yeah. Anyways, but my anytime goal scorer for this game, I'm going to take my anytime goal scorer to be Raúl Jimenez, not Raúl Jimenez, but thing there. I'm expecting thing there to score. What's his name there? Not Raúl Jimenez. Thing there. Ruben Neves. That is. Sorry about that for that crashing bang just now. Alright, sorry about that. So yes, my anytime goal scorer Ruben Neves, that is. Alright, so recapping predictions for Wolverhampton Wanderers versus West Ham. I'm expecting both teams to score. I'm expecting a draw here, sorry. Expecting both teams to score 2 as well. Predicted scoreline 1-1, I'll say, and my anytime goal scorer to be Ruben Neves. Alright, so let's skedaddle on over to the next game, and the next game will be Brentford versus Bournemouth. And for Brentford versus Bournemouth, I'm expecting here I'm expecting Brentford to take care of business, but I don't think Bournemouth are going to come there and line down, but I'm expecting them to take care of business. So Brentford to win, both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I'll go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm saying here 3-1 in favor of Brentford. In terms of anytime goal scorer, Ivan Toney is on the injury list, so he might not play. We have Wissa, who is usually a super sub. We have Brian Mbeumo, as well as Josh Da Silva. He could score for you as well. And the other guys there, you have thing there as well as Lewis Potter. He's popped up and scored a couple times this season. Ben Mee as well from the defense. But for Bournemouth, the Bournemouth side of football, you have Jaden Anthony. You have to watch out for him as well. Philip Billing, Dominic Solanke, he could score for you as well as Jefferson Lerma. You have to look out for him as well too. Kiefer Moore, depending on the time he gets, he can score for you as well. But my anytime goal scorer is going to come from Brentford, and I'm going to take my anytime goal scorer to be Brian Mbeumo. Yes, I'm going with Brian Mbeumo, $2.50. So recapping predictions for Brentford versus Bournemouth, I'm expecting Brentford to win, and I'm expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me is 3-1 in favor of Brentford, and my anytime goal scorer to be Brian Mbeumo. Alright, so let's move right along into the next game, and our next game will be here on Sunday, Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. And for Chelsea versus Crystal Palace now, folks, I'm expecting here this one to be an interesting one. It depends on how many injuries Chelsea have, and it depends on how well Crystal Palace play. I think Crystal Palace could beat Chelsea here, so Crystal Palace to win for me. Both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-1 in favor of Crystal Palace, I do believe. And in terms of my anytime goal scorers, you have to look at Kai Havertz for Chelsea, Sterling if he plays, Mason Mount, Ziyech, he doesn't find himself in a position when playing for Chelsea to score much though, but he could score. Conor Gallagher, depends on the amount of time he gets, he can score as well. And Jorginho, if you ever have a penalty, is almost guaranteed to score, yeah? For Crystal Palace now, you have the usual suspect with Zaha, you have Mateta, you have Eze, you have Jordan Ayew, as well as Elise and Schlupp. You have to look out for those guys. They could pop up and score for you at any point too. But for me, I'm going to check Kai Havertz here to be my anytime goal scorer. So Kai Havertz to score here. And recapping predictions for Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, I'm saying here Crystal Palace to win this one, and both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I'll say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-1 in favor of Crystal Palace, I believe, and my anytime goal scorer to be Kai Havertz. Yeah. So hope you're taking the news, gentle folks, and thank you once again for watching my videos, and ensure that you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell whenever you do so. So let's jump right into our next game, and our next game here will be Newcastle United versus Fulham. And for Newcastle United versus Fulham, I'm expecting here Newcastle United take care of business. Lost their first game in about what, I think 15 or 17 games earlier this week in the League Cup, the FA Cup, and so therefore I don't know if this is going to be the start of a bad run. Well, mind you, they won their game in the Caballero Cup a couple days later. Yeah, I think they won 2-0 against I don't remember who the team was, but they won 2-0 again. It's either 2 or 3-0 they won by. And yeah, so let's see how this one pans out for Newcastle. For Newcastle here, now I'm expecting them to win here, but I'm expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of a double chance, you go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm saying here, and Newcastle wins this one 3-1. Anytime goal scorers for me here, I'm going to take my anytime goal scorer to be, let's run through the list, folks. You have Isak, you have Callum Wilson, you have Almiron, you have Chris Wood, as well as Bruno Guimaraes, and you also have Joe Linton and Willock, who could come up and score for you as well on the Newcastle side of football, that is. In terms of Fulham now, you have Alexander Mitrovic, and you have you have Bobby Reed, and you have Daniel Williams, depending on what time it gets, and you have William as well, and you have Joe Paulina, and you have Andreas Pereira as well. All of those guys could come up and score for you at any point. But for me here now, I'm going to take my anytime goal scorer from Newcastle, and I'm going to go with Miguel Almiron at $2.20. And so let me just recap our predictions here for Newcastle versus Fulham. I'm expecting Newcastle to win this one here at $1.53. I'm expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of double chance, I would say either team to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 3-1 in favor of Newcastle, I do believe. And in terms of my anytime goal score, I'm going to go with Miguel Almiron at $2.20. Yeah. So let's go here now to our final game for this here game week. Well, not our final game, because this week is double week for Manchester United, so Manchester will be playing on Monday again. So I'm gonna give the predictions for that. So that's another rescheduled game that I would have given you a prediction for in a previous video. Yeah. But for Tottenham versus Arsenal, I'm expecting here. I'm expecting both teams to battle this one out, and it's going to be a close one. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends in a draw, but I'm going to give Arsenal the victory here. I'm expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of double chance, I go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-1 in favor of Arsenal, I do believe. Could go up to 3-1. Alright. Me, anytime goal scorer here for Tottenham, you have Harry, you have Son Heung-min, you have also Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, he could score as well. Usual pops up and score of late. Matt Doherty is making some good runs too. He scored his first goal I think last week, so you have to look out for him. In terms of Arsenal, you have the usual suspects. You have Martin Odegaard, you have Eddie Nketiah, you have Gabriel Martinelli, you have Bakayo Sako, and also you have Granit Xhaka. And Thomas Partey, I think, scored twice earlier this season, so you have to look out for him too. But for me, my anytime goal scorer is going to come from Arsenal, and I'm going to say my anytime goal scorer to be Martin Odegaard. Alright, so Martin Odegaard to score for me at any point in this one. Otherwise, I would have gone with Saka or Nketiah. Yeah, Eddie Nketiah. Yeah. Recapping predictions for Spurs versus Arsenal. I'm expecting Arsenal to win here at $2.10. In terms of both teams scoring, I'm saying yes, they should both score. Predicted in terms of double chance, that is, I'm going with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-1 in favor of Arsenal, I believe. And in terms of anytime goal score, I'm going to go with Martin Odegaard. And and for our next game here now, as I said, this game here on Monday, this game here on Wednesday rather, this is a replay, and so it's going to be a part, this is also a part of it too. So these two games are going to be, so this is a part of a double week. So this game here on Wednesday is a double game. I'm going to give you the predictions for that. Yes, so Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. Manchester United visiting Crystal Palace. I'm saying Manchester United to win. Both teams not to score. In terms of combination bet, I go with either to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying here Manchester United wins this one 1-0. Anytime goal scores, don't have anything here as yet, so I can't give it, but the usual suspects here for Manchester United, you're going to have Rashford, you're going to have Martial, you're going to have Ericsson, you're going to have Fernandes. All those guys could pop up at any point and score for Manchester United. And for Crystal Palace, you'd have Zaha, you have Olise, and you have Eze, as well as Mateta. All of those guys could come and score, yeah. But recapping predictions for Crystal Palace versus Manchester United, these are bonus games, you'd say, yeah. I'm expecting Manchester United to win. I'm expecting both teams not to score. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline 1-0 in favor of Manchester United, I do believe. And if you'd like to go ahead and take a bet on the handicap system, in this case here now, you'd have to go with Manchester to win by a goal on the three-way, but you're going to have to take a draw here, because if the game ends 1-0, it would have been a draw on the handicap system, yeah. Three-way handicap system, that is, yeah. So alright, then that's how the cookie crumbles for Crystal Palace versus Manchester United, folks. And now we're going to move on to another double game, additional game, bonus game if you want to call it that, and that's Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspurs. And for this game now, I'm expecting Manchester City to take care of business here. It's going to be, I think Conte is going to come and he's going to be very defensive as usual, and then he's going to wait for the counter. But I think City are going to eventually break them down and going to eventually score and win the game. So City to win, both teams not to score, I believe. In terms of a double chance, I'll go with either to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm saying here City wins this one 3-0. And anytime goal scorers, you have the usual suspects from City. You have Haaland, you have Gundogan, you have Bernardo, you have Bernardo Silva, that is. You have Foden, and you have Kevin De Bruyne. And also on the Tottenham Hotspur side of football, you have Son. He has have an awful season this season. I don't think he's past 5 goals. Well, he might just, I think he might be on about 5 or 6, because he scored 3 in one game and he scored 1 last week. Yeah, so Son, as I say, and you have Højbjerg as well. You have depends if Kulusevski is pleased, he's more likely to provide you with an assist than a goal, but you can't count him out if you please, that is. And also Perisic is over the goal, but he's usually more of a provider. But for me in this game, my anytime goal scorer, I'm going to go with Erling Haaland to be my anytime goal scorer here. And so I'm just going to give you my further recap and my further predictions for Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspurs. I'm expecting Manchester to win. I'm expecting both teams not to score. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either to win and both not to score. Predicted score line for me in this one, I say 3-0 in favor of Manchester City, yeah. And gentle folks, that's how the cookie crumbles for this year game week. And so this should take us up all the way up to next week Thursday, and then after next week Thursday we'll jump back into it again on Saturday. And so I'll give you those predictions for the games here on Saturday the 21st of January next week. And so I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for joining me, and remember, take your notes, share the video on social media, and encourage your friends to come and join the channel, yeah. Thank you for your support, and have a great week, and happy betting. Thank you.